So this guy dropped his bike off to me today. This is an 03. I guess he got it for free. Doesn't run, doesn't have a battery, no spark plug. The guy told him it needed top end work. And he was looking for someone to fix it. And I do have an ad up on Marketplace offering service. And he actually lives close to me, so we dropped it off today. It's got a nice White Brothers exhaust on there. Some huge ass tires. It's got a little kill switch under there. You guys can see right there. I don't know what that's for, but it doesn't look like it's hooked up. These grips, they got bags on them because they are all melted. And it is ooey gooey nastiness. I mean, you just touch them and your fingers just turn black. So he brought it with the bags on it, and I put some more bags on it. Choke looks like it's froze up. Switches work. Like I said, there's no battery in it. He did not bring me the keys, so he will drop that off to me tomorrow. I like their little, put a little silicone dabs there just to secure the little lights there. We'll see how much money he wants to spend on this. I told him it would be 80 bucks if I got to tear into the engine, but we got to get it running first and kind of go from there. So it needs fuel. Need to hook this fuel line back up. It's there. The gas tank is not really in there. Carb probably is gummed up, I'm guessing. I don't know why this is a different color. I don't know if it's been painted or what's going on with that. I did take this off. I had to use my impact screwdriver to get that off. Beat the hell out of that thing. And I did turn the engine over. It does turn over. Coolant bottle's got a hole in it. It's crispy. These things always become crispy when they sit outside. I don't see any broken wells or anything. Everything looks to be in okay shape. You know, no broken case down there. So we'll see what he wants to do with this. You know, he said he didn't want to spend a ton of money, but he might have to. These little lights, one's cracked. Guessing that's plastic, could be glass, I don't know, but this is like old school stuff right here. Aftermarket reservoir. Looks like his parking brake has been deleted. Gone. If he wants, I can clean that up for him. Does have the parking brake delete down there. He's got this K&N in there that is filthy dirty. What's this little zip tie? There's a zip tie in there. I'm afraid to look down in there. There's probably some black widows or scorpions in there. But, I mean, this thing has definitely seen better days. But if he wants to spend the money, I'll get it looking good for him. Now I have the need for speed, crashing sucks, Mayor USA. I do believe those are they Suzuki brand? Can't tell. I mean, you can see how long this thing's been sitting too. It's got shit sitting on it everywhere. Definitely need some tires, I think. That rim looks all right. I think this one was bent. Yeah, that's got a big old bend in it. I'm sure it's losing air. It's gashed. Looks like the tire's sliced. I'm sure this tire will be flat here in no time. But I did check the oil. And there's definitely no coolant in it that I can see. And nothing on the dipstick. I mean, literally nothing. So I don't know if they drained the oil, but when I did pull that cap off there was oil pouring out of there, so we'll have to definitely get into this thing and figure out what's going on. But I want to see if it runs first, and then we'll go by the sound. If it sounds like shit, it's knocking, you know, he may just be better off finding another engine. That was his original plan. He's like, I was just gonna buy a new engine and throw it in there. But I mean, yeah, you could do that, but then you gotta deal with the carb. You gotta deal with, you know, maybe the radiator's leaking. Definitely no cracks in the swing arm that I could see. I did look it over pretty good. Didn't see any up on top. When I wash this thing, I'll check again underneath. But, you know, I think this thing was last ridden in 2015, and it's sat ever since. But we'll see how it goes, guys. I just gotta drain the oil out of the whole thing, and probably needs a water pump. And there's more water in it than oil. Let's get this out of here. I don't know what bolt they got in there, but that is definitely not the right bolt. Pop this thing off here. Cobwebs. Dripping fuel. I'm gonna have to deal with that. Let's see if there's a washer on there. All right, so you guys can, as you can see, there was a ton of water in the oil. I don't know if it's a head gasket, if it's a water pump, but the only way this thing will run is on ether at this point. But the oil was actually spewing out because I think there was too much in there, because I added some because there was nothing on the dipstick, but I think it was all in the block. I don't know. But I think all that water might have pushed through. Who knows? But let's see if we can get this thing running again with some ether. had the pull choke, but I think it's just done for. It's not the right one. They're gonna run it without it. Let's try. I don't like taking these boxes out because putting these stupid K&Ns in there because they just run like shit. Put this air filter back on. See if it runs any better because it's sucking up a lot of air. And let's try it again. Choker. Why don't I just push that in there? It doesn't sound all that bad. Definitely a runner. I don't know how long this thing has been sitting, but I'm surprised it started up. I don't know if we got a bad water pump, a bad head gasket. I don't have any water in there now, so I'm not going to run it a whole lot. But she's definitely a runner. I think he'll be happy that it's a runner. Get him a video, send him a video. All right, let's check impression, see where we're at. So throttle open. We're at like 110, 25, about 110. Let's try one more time. So we're at 105. But you can see it's been leaking some fuel, leaking some oil. See how the oil running down there? That whole thing is saturated in oil. Looks like it's stop leaking fuel for the moment. Might be pretty low on fuel, but there wasn't any water in the radiator, so I'm not putting any back in. I mean, it just needs a cleanup. I mean, all that'll come off. Needs a coolant bottle. I would need a battery. So I broke down the parts and labor. So he was looking at thinking about $320 in labor to tear down the engine, and then another $300 to do the rest of his list. So he was looking at $620 in labor and $800 in parts. So, I mean, honestly, I think that's a fair price. If he had taken it to the dealer, he's going to pay double that because they're going to use all OEM parts. These are all aftermarket parts that I quoted him. And then he did need this oil reservoir because that bolt down there, that's just stripped out. So I put a bolt in there and it's in there, but it ain't going to come out nicely. So anyway, new chain, clean it up, and I think he would have a decent bike. I mean, honestly, you spend $1,700. If he decided to sell it down the road, he could probably get 28. So we'll see if he wants to do it eventually, but he will need new front tires. The back tires seem all right. I think one of them had a plug in it. Yeah, there's a big plug in the sidewall right there. I mean, honestly, 4 tires would be ideal, but these little lights up here do work. So probably one of them does. Everything else works. I think the rear brake light didn't work with the handle here. Probably just needs to be cleaned. And then, you know, I could replace this, put the original on there, or just mount them down here for him. But, you know, I mean, for what it is, it's got potential. Anyway, that is that one there. So I'm going to drain the fuel out of this and pull my battery back out of it, and he can deal with the rest. He's going to come by tomorrow and get it. So I tried. We'll see if he comes back. But at this point, that's on him. I mean, it's just leaking fuel bad, so definitely needs a carb rebuild. All right, so customer just dropped this off. He's kind of in a hurry to get this thing up north to the reservation. He needs a headlight. The headlight doesn't work. I guess he said you can't find the bulb, and last owner cut the wires, so I told him I can mount an LED light bar in there. I mean, I have this one, so I'm going to go ahead and, you know, I asked him if it's all right if I drilled holes and stuff, whatnot. So I'll just mount this in there for him so he has a headlight. And honestly, this is going to be way brighter than anything he'll ever, you know, than any bulb that he's going to put in there. But, I mean, this thing's pretty rough. It's got no tail, no muffler on there. It's just open header. Idle definitely needs to be bumped up a little bit, so I'll bump up the idle, but first things first, I'm gonna get this headlight mounted for him and kind of go from there. Let's put all these stickers on there. I don't think they're gonna last, but to each his own, right? I mean, you guys look at these big ass fucking tires on here. These are huge. It's like a car tire. So, whatever, I'll do what I need to do and he can look for tires and do what he needs to do. So, my goal for today is just to swap this headlight out and put this LED light bar on there. So, let's get to it. All right, this is what we're gonna go with. So I just took the bezel out of there and I can just mount this back in there. And so now we got a nice LED light in there. So I'm gonna button this thing back up. This is literally like a 30-minute job. Charge them $70 to do. All right, this thing's all buttoned up. So just stuck a little LED light in there. Definitely a lot brighter. So you should be happy with that. Switches it, so I just went with that. The old one was done for, needs a bulb. This thing has definitely seen better days. Missing the rear bumper, no tail light, or no tail pipe, but I mean it runs. It's got this little carb filter on there. Looks like the boot was ripped. Let's see if I can get this off. So we got the little air filter. I think the boot is ripped. Looks like there's some silicone sealer on there. Plastic panels don't line up. But it is what it is. So he's gonna come get this. I charged him $70 to put the light on. Basically just took the bezel out, drilled some holes, wired it back in there to the switch. So he should be good to go. We should be happy.